And I think that is a beautiful segue into our wonderful keynote for this morning. Now, they gave me your blurb, Shani Danda, right? So they gave me your bio. So I sort of feel that introducing Shani to speak today, you can go and look at her bio on, the Zero Project Conference. She is a multi-award winner. She is a speaker. She is an activist. She's a businesswoman. She is an innovator. And she has been doing this work for a very long time. She is a beautiful human being, a beautiful woman. But if I could just briefly touch on the first time that I met you. I met you when you were working for Virgin Media in London. And Virgin Media were one of our first, were our first sponsor for the Valuable 500. But you were doing a job, and you were also a social entrepreneur, and also you were doing activism and speaking. And I was thinking I was working hard, and then I came and I saw you. And you know what? The one thing about you, Shani, is your kindness, your generosity, your resilience. And if I could say one thing about you, you demonstrate to me the characteristics I love in a person, which is a soft front, a strong back, and a wild heart. Will you please put your hands together for the beautiful, wonderful friend and leader, Shani Danda.
Hi everyone, good morning. I think that was the best intro I've ever had, so thank you so much, Caroline. And it's a huge honour for me to be here today to give the keynote. It's my third year with Zero Project. And I want to share a little bit about my journey and how I have been able to stand in my power and find wisdom on a journey that hasn't always been so straightforward. I just want to start by sharing my visual description. I'm a South Asian woman in my mid-30s, and I have a short stature. I am wearing a bright pink dress today. And I'm from the UK, and I work with lots of different businesses and brands, helping them to get inclusion and accessibility right and authentically. So I was born with a really rare genetic condition. It's got this fancy long medical term called osteogenesis imperfecta. And on the screen, there's a picture of my mum who's holding me in her arms. I'm 2 years old in this picture, and that's when I received my diagnosis. I didn't realize how much of a privilege it is to have a diagnosis until I had COVID. But the reason that I want to start here is because I'm a Sikh, I'm a Punjabi woman, and I was born in a really big South Asian family. But disability faces an even further sense of stigma in my community. So actually, when I was born, people mourned my birth. My mum was blamed. And I was made to feel a lot of shame as a young child growing up. I got told things like, oh, you must have done something bad in your past life. That's why you were born with your condition. And then that also led to a lot of feelings of guilt as well. I also went to a special needs primary school because that's just what inclusion was back in 1990. And on the screen is my school picture, my class 1 picture, and I'm right at the bottom next to the sign on the front row. Now, I absolutely loved it. I had a great time. I also played a lot. But I also missed a lot of school as well, just because of health problems. And it's really difficult for me to say it was a good thing or it was a bad thing for me to go to special needs primary school, because two conflicting things can be true at the same time. Inclusive education has moved on a long way since my time over 30 years ago. And there were so many pros and cons. Like, I was able to have weekly hydrotherapy at the school because they had a pool. If I had gone to a mainstream school, I wouldn't have been able to do that. But there was a really poignant moment for me when I was aged about 9, and the teacher said to me that I had read all the books in the school, and they had to order new ones in. And so I was recently approached by HarperCollins, a publisher in the UK and worldwide, to write a kids' book. And here it is. It's been published for a month now. It's called No Horn Unicorn. And this was my contribution to the stories that I needed to read, because even though I had read all the books in the school, I never read one story or saw one character of a disabled person. So even though my character's a unicorn, the story is rooted in the social model of disability, and it's got beautiful illustrations. And the story is all about not only accepting your own differences, but accepting them in other people and celebrating them too. And I actually have a couple of copies today with me, if anybody would like one or would like to see it. I then actually went to a mainstream secondary school and absolutely loved it. And that's when I actually realised that I don't think for my learning needs, a special needs primary school was the right setting for me. I left school, I wanted to apply for work, and I used to share on my applications that, I've got a condition, but it doesn't affect my ability to do this job. But sadly, I'd got to the point where I'd applied for over 100 jobs and I didn't hear anything back. So I did a bit of an experiment, and I took that one sentence off my covering letter, and I got offered an interview straight away. So at the age of 16, I had to learn a really harsh reality, and I wish I could stand here and say it's different now, but the fact still remains that disabled people are still twice as likely to be unemployed in the country that I'm from. And I know this is probably something you already know. So this really created the start of my entrepreneurial mindset and journey. I didn't want to rely on other people for opportunities. I didn't want to have to beg for a job. I thought, what can I do? How can I take control of this situation? So I worked as an event manager for 10 years. And you know what? I was really good at it. Because I'm 3'10" in height, I'm the height of a 4-year-old, I have to think outside of the box every single day. Figuring out how to reach my kitchen cupboards is the least of my problems. So I love the fact that I got to do a job that I not only was good at, but I got to challenge people's perceptions. My skill set was perfect. And then in more recent years, I have turned my skill and talent into being a change maker. I've been very fortunate to speak on some of the world's biggest stages, alongside the likes of Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton, and worked and still work with some of the world's biggest brands. And I'm also enjoying my broadcasting era as well. And it's a huge honour to share my ideas and messages with audiences of millions of people on daytime TV in the UK. And this is all well and good. And of course, it hasn't been smooth sailing. But there's a couple of things I wish I knew on this journey that I want to share with you today. Because in everything that you're doing, in all the amazing work that you're doing, I want you to remind disabled people of these following things. I wish someone had told me that disability is an experience. Yes, I live with my condition 24/7, but I'm not disabled 24/7. I only experience disability when I'm faced with a barrier or a bias, and we live in a very disabling world. I wish so much someone had told me about the social model of disability. I came across it by accident in my early 20s, and when I did, it changed my life. If you had met a younger version of Shani, I hated my disability identity. I fully rejected it, and now I couldn't be a more prouder disabled person. But I do wonder, how would I have been different if I had known about the social model at a younger age? In the UK, we know that 75% of disabled people have never heard about the social model. So I'm on a bit of a mission to make sure as many people know about it as possible. And of course, some people don't like it, it's not for them. That's totally fine. I think at least having the knowledge of it is really important. I grew up on a diet of representation that I don't think was very good, from fundraisers on television like Children in Need that portray disabled people as charity and in suffering and pity, to the awful headlines that we still see today about how disabled people are scroungers, which is not true, or, are benefit cheats, to a dating show for disabled people which was titled The Undateables, to then this very extreme narrative of Paralympians being superhumans or inspirational. And this is still something that is a challenge today. We need way more diverse representation of disabled people. I really wish I wasn't made to feel a burden for needing something different or for, asking for adjustments. And I really wish people would remove systemic barriers. It's no point putting a plaster on something. It's not really going to work. And I really wish people would approach inclusion from an intersectional perspective, because that is true inclusion. And I think the beauty of Zero Project is that we're coming together from all over the world and spreading across the world. And we're all here because we want to live in a world with zero barriers. So these are all the things that I wish I knew and someone told me. I wish someone taught me about ableism. We live in a society that is entrenched in it. If we don't have the language to understand ableism or call it out or understand that that's what's happening to us, it can lead to feelings of internalized ableism. And I don't think I've met a disabled person who hasn't ever talked about their internalized ableism or struggling with that. So my final thoughts and my final words that I wanted to share with you all today is that whether you're disabled or not, whether you experience disability or not, you are all valued, accepted, and appreciated. And when you leave this room today and leave this conference, I want you to go and tell another person, I want you to go and tell the disabled people that you work with that their worth is undeniable and that their value goes beyond societal norms. And I want you to tell them that their presence is important, as well as their experiences and their contributions. They are invaluable. And with everything that you're doing, with all the amazing innovations you're creating, the projects that you're doing across the world, it can sometimes be difficult to understand the impact that we're creating. I want you to keep on. I want you to carry on, and I want you to keep sharing that innovation, sharing that learning. We can't get enough of it. And I also want you to remember, while you're doing that, every decision that we make can either raise or lower barriers to participation. So what action will you take? Thank you.